International Man of Mystery has always had a wide variety of wheels from which to choose. Over the last 100 years, that choice has often been Aston Martin. However, what happens when the International Man of Mystery has little international men and women of mystery to tote around with him? Aston Martin has got something for you there. The new Rapide, now available, as you see here, in Rapide S trim. More powerful, and just as beautiful. And this is the money shot. This is what makes the Rapide a four-door, the fourth door. As you can see, a real adult fits in here. You just can't see the entire top of my head. But there is room back here. And it's not emergency seat room either. It's snug, it's tight, but it's like a racing seat, sort of, for an executive. We don't happen to have any children with us here today. Oh, ma'am, may we borrow your children?
Sure.
Would you like to hop into this Aston Martin Rapide, children? Do you have SAG-AFTRA cards? What do you think of the Aston Martin Rapide? See? Approved by 3-year-olds everywhere. One good thing about the Aston Martin Rapide S is there's plenty of trunk space. Look at this. Not only is there all this, you flip this down, that doubles it, then you come around here, push this button, and that part comes down. It's like a Ford F-150. Explain that to the wife when you're trying to justify this purchase. There are a couple faults about Aston Martins. This key, for one, it's so easy to drop, and you have to, every time you start the car, push it in there and get the car going. And then, after you do that, you have to go back to these Dodge Dart from 1964 push button things to get in gear. A major pain. But if that's the worst suffering in your life, come on, man. There is no launch control on this Aston Martin. The Vanquish has launch control, not this one. That is not to say that it doesn't launch. For handling, this car weighs only about 4,300 pounds, which for cars in its class is actually very good. It's basically the same architecture that you'll find in the other Aston Martins, the Vanquish, the DB9, except that it's of course stretched enough to make room for the rear seat. Still, given that, it's still a relatively lightweight car. 4,300 pounds, 550 horsepower, and you can kind of enjoy yourself in the corners. Use the paddle shifters, downshift into the corners. So there are competitors out there, some of which do some things better, some of which don't. The Porsche Panamera has more room in the back, maybe costs just a little bit less. Others are out there that offer a lot. The Maserati Quattroporte is brand new, coming out. That's a competitor to this. But we think for $200,000, you'd be hard-pressed to find a V12-powered, four-seater, four-door, more beautiful and more fun to drive than the Aston Martin Rapide S. For Auto Week, I'm Mark Vaughn.
Catch all the latest auto enthusiast news at AutoWeek.com, in Auto Week magazine and iPad edition. Talk with us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at AutoWeek USA.